Welcome to LFC Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for all things Liverpool FC transfers. Like and subscribe for more football updates. Our first news is Liverpool expect to sign 25-year-old next summer despite interest from Man City and Bayern Munich. Liverpool are very much in the race to sign Marc Guehi, having narrowly missed out on acquiring his services during the summer. However, it will far from straightforward for the Crystal Palace captain to end up at Anfield in 2026. Guehi is not expected to sign a new contract at Selhurst Park, which would mean that he'd be a free agent next summer. Liverpool are very much aware of this, but so are Man City, who have made him a top target. On top of this, Bayern Munich have also been credited with an interest. Liverpool confident of closing Marc Guehi's signing in 2026. Despite this, Pete O'Rourke has told Football Insider that Liverpool believe they are firm favourites to sign Guehi. If Guehi does run down his contract and become a free agent, it could be an open race for him. It will depend on who offers him the best deal, and Liverpool right now are still confident that they can land Guehi if he explores his options as a free agent. It does seem Liverpool will wait until next summer to try and push through a deal for Guehi, having come so close to signing him in the summer before the deal fell through. There are clubs across Europe looking at Guehi because the chance to sign a proven Premier League player and England international on a free would be a huge coup. It's an open race as things stand, but Liverpool have done some of the hard work already, and they hope that will give them the edge to get a deal over the line. It will be very interesting to see where Guehi ends up next summer, providing that he does not sign a contract extension at Crystal Palace in the next 9 months. Liverpool 25-year-old signing amid Man City and Bayern interest, while Salah rescues Reds at Burnley. Alexander Isak's absence explained, £450 million transfer truth revealed, and John Toshack makes a rare public appearance. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our second news is the official reason why Alexander Isak is missing for Liverpool after £130 million Newcastle United transfer. Alexander Isak joined Liverpool for £130 million from Newcastle United but has been left out of their squad at Burnley. Alexander Isak is missing from Liverpool's matchday squad for their Premier League clash away to Burnley. Newcastle United sold Isak to the Reds on deadline day for a British record £130 million after the Swede ultimately forced his exit. Liverpool unsettled Isak with an informal approach just days after he reported back for pre-season in Austria. And from then on, things unravelled. Isak missed the Magpies' opening friendly away to Celtic and sat out of the Tour of Asia. When Eddie Howe's squad returned to England, Isak went on strike, refusing to train or play with his teammates. Why Alexander Isak is missing for Liverpool against Burnley? The 25-year-old's refusal to play has left him short of match fitness, which is the reason for his omission for Liverpool's visit to Turf Moor. Isak did link up with Sweden during the international break but only played 20 minutes in total. Speaking about Isak pre-match, Reds boss Arne Slot said, "First of all, I think the Swedish manager, Jon Dahl Tomasson, deserves a big compliment because he gets one of the best, maybe the best striker in the world in and needs to play 2 very important games for his country, but understands if he would play him twice for 90 minutes the player would have probably been injured for multiple weeks. That is not always easy for a manager, that he takes care of the interest of the player, so he deserves a big compliment for that, and we will treat Alex the same as they did. So, don't expect him every single game 90 minutes on the pitch, that's definitely not going to happen in the upcoming weeks. He missed a proper pre-season. I think he missed 3 or 4 months of team sessions, so now we have to build him up gradually with us playing so many games and having very little training time. So, that's going to be a challenge, but we've signed him not only for the upcoming 2 weeks, we've signed him, I think, for 6 years, so this is what we have to keep in mind and what the fans have to keep in mind if they see that I take him off at a certain moment or I only bring him in for a small amount of minutes. That's all for the long-term fitness of the player." Eddie Howe discusses Alexander Isak's Newcastle United exit. How addressed Isak's exit prior to Saturday's 1-0 win over Wolverhampton Wanderers and said, "I think Alex and I always enjoyed a great relationship. I loved working with him, I hope that he loved working with us. It was mutually beneficial. I think we helped him become the player that he, in part, is today, and he helped us as a team achieve some unbelievable milestones, and of course he was part of a very successful team." Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our third news is Liverpool no £450 million transfer truth after Burnley frustration and Mohamed Salah heroics. Liverpool have had to turn to somewhat unlikely heroes in each of their 3 opening games of the Premier League season, but this was a case of the familiar as Mohamed Salah scored a stoppage-time penalty to snatch victory for the Reds at Burnley. Deserved, yes. Just. They were the dominant side at Turf Moor in a drab encounter. But clear-cut chances were few and far between on a day where Arne Slot's men looked set to be frustrated. Liverpool recorded 27 shots against the Clarets, but only 4 were on target. None fell to any of their front 4 from open play, with Salah's winner coming with the caveat of being a penalty. Instead, Andy Robertson first tested Martin Dubravka moments after coming on in the first half, before Dominik Szoboszlai stung the Slovakian's gloves from distances after moving into midfield. Substitute Jeremy Frimpong would also be denied by the shot stopper late on, with all 3 lining up at fullback at one point or another. With Alexander Isak on strike at Newcastle United during the opening weeks of the season, Eddie Howe regularly bemoaned how the absence of his star striker was costing his side points as they went winless, fighting out 2-0 draws and losing 3-2 to Liverpool, in their opening 3 games. It would have been easy for the Reds to make a similar excuse as they toiled against Burnley, having belatedly brought in Isak in a club record move on transfer deadline day. It is easy to wonder what if and how things might have been different had the Reds been able to call upon their £125 million man in attack rather than left him at home. But this was not just a case of Slot's men being wasteful and lacking that killer final touch. A different striker would have likely made little difference. Instead, this is a new-look side still gelling together after the busiest and most expensive of summers at Anfield, which saw 8 new senior signings arrive through the door and £450 million spent. As frustrating as it might be, it was always going to take time. It has taken late drama for Liverpool to emerge victorious in each of their 4 games. And while that will not be sustainable across an entire 38-game campaign, they continue to demonstrate why they are the reigning Premier League champions. 4 wins from 4 to maintain their 100% start, they are 3 points clear at the top of the season and have now scored in every league outing over the past 12 months, even if it was a case of only just in their latest efforts. Supporters excitedly waited throughout the international break for a first glimpse of the Isak in Liverpool colours. But they will have to wait a little while longer after Slot took the decision to leave his new striker at home. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our fourth news is Liverpool legend John Toshack makes rare public appearance after health issues. John Toshack managed a number of high-profile clubs across Europe during his managerial career, including Real Sociedad and Real Madrid, and both clubs honored his achievements this weekend. Liverpool legend John Toshack made a rare appearance in Spain this weekend as he was presented with an award by former club Real Sociedad. Liverpool legend John Toshack made a rare appearance in Spain this weekend as he was presented with an award by former club Real Sociedad. The former Wales and Real Madrid coach suffered pneumonia after complications from COVID and was admitted into intensive care in 2022. But he was able to travel to Sociedad Stadium in San Sebastian as he was honored with their diamond and gold badge, the highest honor they give out as a club. Toshack was recognized after managing the Basque club across 3 separate spells. The first between 1985 and 1989, helping them win the Copa del Rey in 1987. He later left to join Real Madrid for 1 season in 1989 before returning to Sociedad for another 3 years in 1991. After a handful of stints across Europe, including a second spell at Madrid in 1999, he went back to Sociedad for a third time in 2000, staying for another 2 years. Toshack was honored before Sociedad's game against another of his fellow clubs, Real Madrid, whose manager Xabi Alonso posed alongside him in a touching photograph. The former Wales and Liverpool forward had to be seated on a stool to take the picture as he shook hands with Alonso before kick-off. Toshack made 247 appearances for Liverpool, scoring 96 goals and winning 3 First Division titles and the European Cup. As a manager, he won the Copa del Rey, La Liga with Real Madrid, the Spanish Super Cup with Deportivo La Coruña and the Turkish Cup with Besiktas in 1998. More recently he had a 6-year stint with the Wales national side, his second time in charge, but wasn't able to lead the team to a major tournament. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our last news is Mo Salah strikes last gasp penalty to earn Liverpool win at Burnley, 5 talking points. Burnley 0-1 Liverpool. Liverpool laboured to a hard-fought win at Burnley thanks to a last-second penalty scored by Mo Salah after Hannibal Mejbri's handball. Mo Salah scored a penalty in dying seconds of stoppage time as Liverpool kept up their perfect start to the season at Burnley. Hannibal Mejbri's handball gave Salah the chance to step up from the spot and win it, after the unconvincing Reds had been kept at bay by their hosts for the vast majority of the afternoon. Hugo Ekitike came close in the first half when his effort raced across the goalmouth, before Dominik Szoboszlai and Ryan Gravenberch tested Martin Dubravka from distance. Burnley's Leslie Ugachukwu was sent off for a second bookable offence with 5 minutes remaining, before Hannibal's late error handed Salah the chance to win it. Here are the game's main talking points: the sign of champions. 88th minute. 100th minute. 83rd minute. 95th minute. It hasn't been the smoothest of football from Liverpool this season, but they are getting the job done eventually, just about. The Reds were perhaps more fortunate here than they have been in their other wins, but the 3 points are just as important now as they will become the end of the season. The earliest talking point at Turf Moor was about who wasn't there. Alexander Isak was made to wait a little longer for his Liverpool debut after being left out of the squad by Arne Slot. After no preseason to speak of, the Reds are taking a softly approach with their new star striker and hope to have him fit for the Champions League clash with Atletico Madrid on Wednesday. Nevertheless, it was a reminder that it could be a while before we see him hit top gear. It proved to be an afternoon for Milos Kerkez to forget at Burnley. After a shaky start in his first couple of games, the Hungarian had impressed in the win over Arsenal, but his performance here would be defined by the dive that led to his first-half booking, an act labelled "stupid" by Jamie Carragher. With Slot concerned about a second card, Kerkez was hooked in the first half and replaced by Andy Robertson, who immediately entered the action with a point to prove. The new signing might look back at this as a learning experience. Scott Parker was beaten 9-0 by Liverpool in his previous game against them in 2022, but he's learned an awful lot about management since then. The Burnley boss has crafted a side who are hard to break down and hard to beat, particularly at home, and that should stand them in good stead as they go about trying to stay in the division this season. They might not have the quality of some of the other teams down there, but they'll work just as hard. Thanks for watching. That's all for today's transfer update. But the transfer window never sleeps, and neither do we. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest Liverpool FC transfer news.